So I'm just heading outside, pick a few blueberries, so I can have a snack while I do some editing of the next chapter. Looking to combine some pictures and video from now, 2025, with some pictures that I've been scouring and finding from 2010 and when we began the work around here. So we'll see how this process goes and if I can edit them together, make a then and now video. Okay, looking forward to it. So we're gonna start here, just coming in the gate and looking up towards the house. A circle patio, a fountain. Oh, there's Fred, robotic lawnmower, one of the toys that makes retirement even better, but we can get into that some other time. But basically this is more or less the view from one of the pictures from 2010. Granted, that picture, I'll insert it in a minute, but that picture was back in November and this is July, so not at all a fair comparison. Regardless, we're just documenting what we've done so far from 2010 to 2025, so that's okay. Besides how dull everything looks in this picture, I can't believe how open it all looks. The yard looks like such a blank slate. That's kind of fun to look back and remember that Mike and I negotiated the allocation of yard to garden. And we made a deal that eventually there would be a pathway from the back door of the house down to the shop, and that everything on the west side could be gardens, and the east would remain relatively clear. But now, in 2025, looking back down from the house to the shop, it's so much more lush. Granted, this picture is taken in July, so that's not fair, but still, there's a lot of gardens and there's still a fair bit of grass, but the garden beds have made a world of difference, and you can see a lot less of the shop now from when we moved in. Putting in the fencing made a big difference, both for keeping the deer out and for creating privacy. If we roll back the clock to a winter morning, looking at how open the yard looks, and there's a lot of shrubs that aren't in the yard anymore. But between the gate and the pathway, we now have the structure that was really needed. And the pathway, flanked by the rosemary hedge, creates such structure and binds in the gardens. I'm moving on to the front yard, what it looks like now compared to what it looked like then 15 years ago. It's hard to believe all the changes. It's hard to believe we were so excited to get this place when it looked like this. Again, it was such a blank slate. And we began the work right away because we knew when we bought it we had some big projects to do, including putting on a new roof and sheathing. but also putting in perimeter drains and curtain drains to dry up around the house and to help dry up the yard. Mike used his own old lawn tractor and tow-behind rototiller to create gardens after the perimeter drains were done in the front of the house. And this was the first attempt at gardens. Now it's a bit of a jungle, but with the ramp up to the house, you no longer need the old porch. It's just so much better and more pleasing to our eyes. So when we were dealing with the perimeter drains and curtain drains, thankfully our friends were able to loan us their Kubota to do a bunch of the digging, which was a little hard on the existing sprinkler system. But seeing as there was no map of where the lines were, it couldn't be avoided. And many of those lines didn't work anyway. So now looking, Maggie's standing more or less in the same area where those drains were dug. It's a fair bit drier during the winter. And then looking back to where Mike was sitting on the rototiller, or not rototiller, Kubota in that last shot. That's where the rosemary, or the asparagus hedge now grows. So Mike continued rototilling in the backyard by the old garden shed where the greenhouse was built this year, so that I could have some space to move plants from our old property. The hose in this shot was the first attempt at determining where the path should go, and I spent winter evenings with graph paper doing designs. We discarded all of the ones that had ridiculous curves, instead settled on 2 straight lines. That would exit or enter the circle patio on opposite quadrants, basically creating a little jog in the path that would connect the end of the shop to the back door without making a curving pathway. I didn't cover any of the changes down in what we now call the orchard or the vegetable gardens, but that'll have to be another video. Okay, well, I got enough blueberries picked for a snack, so I'm going to call it and try some editing while I snack, and then we're going to head off camping. So anyway, looking forward to the next chapter.